So you've just graduated film school, and now you want to be a producer. So a little scary, a little exciting. So I'm sitting down today with Emily, who's a recent film school grad, and we're going to talk about what she expected, what she learned, and what's next, all happening on the producer's desk. Now, here we go. Welcome, Emily. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course, of course. So let's just dive right into it.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about yourself and, what drew you to producing?
Just like you, I started as an actress. I was acting, and with acting, a lot of the time, sometimes you're waiting for projects.
Mm-hmm.
And I really was interested in the creative side of the film industry, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And I had the opportunity of auditioning for some really influential, strong women in the industry, such as Courtney Kang, Mindy Kaling, Viola Davis, and Ava DuVernay. And I looked at them and I thought, I could do that. I want to do that. And instead of waiting for projects to come to me, I want to make those projects that I could also write, act in, produce. And that's what led me to then be a film and television production major in college.
So, yeah, exactly. For me, that was the impetus as well. It's just like when you are sitting there and you're just feeling like you're at the mercy of everyone in that room when you're in casting and you're auditioning and you're just thinking, who are these people across the table choosing my destiny right now? I need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, it's really great. So is there something you thought you'd know by now, but you still feel a little unprepared for?
Yes. I really learned about the production aspect of how to make a film, like the cinematography, the lighting, sound, but I didn't as much learn the financing part of film about, finding funds and then how to sell your film afterwards.
Yeah, and that's pretty daunting because obviously you need to be able to fund a film, to make the film, and then you got to be able to sell it to get the money back that you've hustled so hard for to get.
Exactly, because you want your film to go somewhere,
Yeah, you want people to see it. It just it doesn't need to go on the shelf.
Exactly, because then what's the purpose?
Okay, what is your dream producing job?
My dream producing job would be to produce something that I've written. I would love to be, I think, like a creative producer and still be able to have that creative, control once it's being made and see it all the way through from writing the script, developing it, to then seeing the production, just continuing along the whole way of it. So I would love to do that, and primarily a project that promotes positivity and hope, and something where the viewer can walk away feeling changed and affected, or that they've learned something.
So is there a specific genre? Are you kind of open, major theme?
I think as long as it embodies the major theme, I do love family shows and film, something that a whole family can get together and watch.
Okay.
I watch a lot of stuff with my parents growing up, and you realize like how much content there is for a whole family to watch together. So I'd love to do more of that.
In the world of producing, when you come in, especially indie film at this level, you have to wear all the hats.
Yeah.
You have to wear all the hats, and when you do that, financing makes a difference. Who brings the money in? There's a lot of influence that they have. So being able to retain that creative, you're like, look, this is my story, but I can tell you so many instances where you're going to have to be malleable. You're going to have to find the balance between, okay, this is the story I want to tell, but then there's other perspectives that come in, and then you're going to have to go, okay, what am I willing to give on? And come out of it feeling good versus completely disappointed. Like, they totally took my script and turned it inside out, and then it's not the story we were going to tell. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of hear it in all the industry, right? You hear these young songwriters who, we're always at the mercy of their label, and then all of a sudden Taylor's just like, I write my own songs, I do my own things. Z snaps and walks away with $1 billion. But until you get to that place, you're kind of at the mercy of the people that you need to help you along the way.
Yeah. And the industry is changing so much too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's another thing about the industry, and I wanted to touch on, is just being a woman in this industry. You know, do you feel the difference of a woman being in the industry, especially producing, trying to be a producer? Like, do you feel like it's a little bit harder for us? Is there more expectation from us?
Think definitely about how you present yourself, just staying strong in that fact.
Yeah.
I am so eager to get started, but I know it's gonna take a while. And I think women, we, in the back of our minds, know that there's like this biological time clock. And I wanna get a couple films and scripts produced under my belt before I start a family. And I know that's gonna take years. So once I do start a family, finding that balance of still pursuing my goals and working hard, but also being a mother and a wife that spends a lot of time with her family and with her kids.
And I have to be very honest with you, I struggled with that. I still, to this day, contribute my desire to build my career as a producer to one of the reasons why I got a divorce. And now, look, me and my ex are great co-parents, and everything's what's meant to be, but it was difficult because I was making choices for me and not my family. And I also had a hard time, like, once you start, you're gonna see that women, we gotta work a little harder.
Yes.
I always tell women in this industry, preparation is your superpower. You got to know your stuff when you walk in that room.
Yeah.
You need to know more than anyone else in the room. And that's partly why I really took steps to understand what each department did. From grip and electric to understanding what is a DIT. Because in indie space, you still have to probably do a lot of what a production manager would do on set.
You have your hands in many pots.
It's many pots. So while you're working here creatively trying to make sure, hey, this is working, you still have to run over here to put all the fires out, because every department has their lane. And especially when you get into like union shows, there is a lane for everybody. Like you can't pick up trash off that set.
Exactly.
But the bottom line is, if you don't know about all these departments and really understand how everything works, I feel like you get less respect on set.
Yeah. I always grew up and my mom would be like, it's how you say it,
True.
It's like, it's all about how you say it, because you can deliver something one way and people are like, oh, that didn't come off right. Or it's like, oh, she really handled that well, or she really said it really well.
I went the opposite way. I overcompensated. So if something wasn't right, I'd puff my chest and speak louder. And I'd make a lot of mistakes doing that. So you can go either way. You can either kind of go away and hide, or you can just be a little too sassy. And I ended up getting a reputation. I was one of the first movies I ever did. It was like my second movie. And I remember a grip guy I didn't know about second meal. Okay, I didn't understand what it meant. We were about to be wrapped. And I was like, why do I have to get pizzas? That's money right now. We're about to all go home and you can go get an In-N-Out burger when we're done. Didn't know that these are rules and so. And he was getting snippy with me and I'm getting snippy with him. And had a moment and I ended up firing the team. So I fired an entire G&E crew in the middle of a 15-day shoot.
Because of a second meal.
Because of a second meal. And after that, there was a reputation. I brought a whole new crew in, too, by the way. I was insane. Because I would never do that now, because you remember, like, if you understand how it works, your DP depends on his grip and electric team. Like, there's a synergy in how they work together.
Yeah.
So I totally broke that. I just totally wouldn't let, pop, you're out, you're in. And luckily, it worked out, and there was a great team that came on. But it was the talk of the town. Yeah, girl. So let's just go into, I think some of the best advice I could give you as to getting into this now. Yeah, we totally left you hanging. But part 2 is where I get real about what it takes to step into producing. Don't miss it. To be continued next week.